Welcome back to Passing Time with Craig. As always, I'm your host, Craig, and today I'm joined by my buddy Ryan Phillips, half of the duo behind the Tuck and Rolls podcast, one of my favorites, and two of my buddies. We're going to discuss Stranger Things 5. Full warning, spoilers ahead. Everything will be discussed. It will definitely be spoilers if you haven't watched it, so stop what you're doing, watch it. Or if you don't care about Stranger Things, just listen to this podcast anyways. We're going to talk about these first 4 episodes. We're going to talk about what we think is going to happen in the final 4 episodes that come out Christmas Day and New Year's Eve, and the actors, the characters, what will happen, and also just other things Ryan's watching, so you have something to do cold winter while you're waiting for these finales to drop with Stranger Things 5. I absolutely love the show. I think it's great. Ryan was a little hesitant going into it. He knew he was going to watch that first episode and kind of play it by ear, and as he'll say, he watched it all within 24 hours. So, yeah, it was a great time chatting with him. So please enjoy Stranger Things 5, Volume 1 with Ryan. Let's dive in. I'm so excited. Ryan, you're back on the pod. Welcome.
You can't keep me away.
No.
And also, I mean, I'm noticing that you're developing a theme here, and I'm hoping that people don't catch on because then they're going to kind of see too much into me. I was on recently to do a Poltergeist rewatch.
Yeah.
And now you've asked me to come on for Stranger Things Season 5. People are going to start knowing a thing that I've got a thing for these hot moms, Craig. Too many hot moms. They can't handle it. Mrs. Wheeler? Hello?
Holy crap. Yeah, we got to dive into Mrs. Wheeler because that is, I wanted you on because I was really excited about it. You've got the Tuck and Rolls podcast, and then the recent episode, you were chatting, like, you called me out, and you're like, I know Craig's excited. I don't know. I'm going to watch the first episode and kind of see what happens.
I fully did not care. Yeah, I mean, like, I've watched all the other seasons, and I would say at a certain point, definitely, I was like, oh, new Stranger Things. Like, sure, I'm sure that at one season or another, I did feel that way. But that last season, I was like, damn, these kids are getting pretty old.
Yeah.
And then there's been such a large gap.
Yeah, with writer strike, actor strike, COVID shit, all that stuff.
Yeah, this new season, fully, I was just like, I don't care. I'm not, like, I wasn't excited. I had no interest, but I was like, I'll watch the first episode at the very least to see if I kind of get into it. And I mean, full disclosure, I got into it. I mean, you and I were talking about it. I watched all the episodes in the first 24 hours, so I would argue that, yeah, I must have been into it. But I think to their credit, all that stuff, the strikes and whatever is like unavoidable. But at the same time, it's so hard to, because I assume it was part of their plan to say, hey, we want to sort of age up the content of the show with the kids.
Yeah.
But trying to produce your show at the same time that people age is like a pretty impossible plane to land.
Yeah. And it's funny. One of my friends, she was like, they look so old. I was like, I don't think they look that old. They definitely don't look like they're supposed to be 15. Like, Finn Wolfhard is 22. They filmed this like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, so he was like 20. But the biggest problem they have is when they place them beside all these new young kids. Like, you look like you look like Holly's dad here.
Yeah, it's hit or miss, right? And like, so I'm old, as we've discussed, older than you. And so I grew up in an era and, watching content as a young kid where anybody that you saw playing a teenager was definitely in their 20s, if not 28 or something, right? So to me, these kids still look pretty young.
Yes.
Like, anytime I see anybody under 25, I'm like, is this a child? What's happening? But some of them look older than others. Like, I think Gaten and Finn still look relatively young. I think Will, the kid that play, what are their names?
Noah.
He had the biggest, looks very tiny, now looks grown up switch. So I think his is kind of the most jarring. He's also kind of like a little bit more jacked now. You can tell the kid works out, and they like, well, we still need you to look like a tiny wimp. So I think he's the one that maybe to me throws it off the most. And then of course you have like Joe Keery, who's like, he's like 34 or whatever, and you're like, but whatever. It's movie magic, right? Would you believe that Vecna also isn't some weird interdimensional demon? It's a guy in makeup. Kind of see shit out the window. Yeah, for me, the age of the kids isn't that hard for me to get past.
Yeah.
Some of the the bigger problem with hiring kid actors and saying we're going to keep doing the show as you age is not knowing if they're good actors or just children.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've said this on your podcast, but I have said it on my podcast. I do not think Millie Bobby Brown is a good actress. She's bad.
So, okay, I was chatting with my friend Kelly about this, and she was like, I like Millie Bobby Brown in like Enola Holmes. She's actually quite good at comedy, but like drama, she's one of the weak points of this. And I think it's still the fact that after all these years, the way her character speaks.
Yeah, she does have a weird kind of. Now, I will say I haven't seen Enola Holmes, so I can't argue that point. I have seen that. What's that terrible robot one that came
Oh,
out
we're
from Chris Pratt?
oh yeah.
The movie was bad, but she is also terrible in that. I don't like her as an actress. Now, a lot of the other kids, I think, do a great job. You and I were talking that we both really like Mike this season.
Yep.
And I mean, credit to Finn Wolfhard. I've seen him in one or two other things. The It movie, he was good in that.
Yep.
And so I don't no beef there, but like I just don't. She always feels like she's reading lines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't land for. So I think that's a harder thing to overcome than, oh, they got a little bit older and you have to suspend your disbelief. It's like, oh, we found an 8-year-old that can read lines pretty good, and that's a win. Versus now we have a 22-year-old who didn't get any better at it.
Yeah. Nothing's changed. Okay, so let's start off with the beginning of the season. Like, we're not going to go beat by beat, but I want to say one of the things that I think worked so well and got me right away with this season is the fact that in previous seasons, they're all living their lives and then shit hits the fan. Whereas this time, we've jumped right in. They have been
already covered
however many time period it's been has gone, they have been doing shit the whole time, and I really like that.
Mm-hmm. It does. It starts off like arguably like a little bit of a soft opening, cold opening, where you're like, are they just going to school? Are things regular? They're working at the radio station, but very quickly you realize, oh, they've got a bit of an underground. And I told you I loved the quality 80s movies vibes of this, and they've done that in every season, and they've sort of kind of done different, not like a full homage, but definitely they are saying, hey, these are the vibes we want. And this one really reminded me of, have you seen the original Red Dawn?
Yep.
The Wolverines, right? They got like their little underground thing. They're doing here, let's unravel all our secret stuff and really hit the 80s nostalgia for me. But they jump into that quick and you're like, oh no, they're handling business. They've got like a whole team, they're planning, they're strategizing. Loved it.
Yeah, and it's still so interesting to me because I think it's very progressive, but it's also so random that after all these years, Nancy's the like leader.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
It's
kind of weird, but
I'm not as big of a fan as you, so I haven't rewatched any. I mean, I've only seen each season once, and actually, after watching the new episodes for the new season, of course, now it's all over my algorithm, and I'm learning that there was a play, and a lot of the stuff that you learn in the play is important, and so I've learned a lot of that stuff, and I've been like, oh, interesting. But yeah, like Nancy's like strategic in the planner, and everybody's afraid to argue with her, and I was like, when did this happen?
Yeah, it's kind of happened. It's always kind of been there, but it was the end of season 4 because she was the one who was like, okay, we're gonna go in to the Upside Down and we're gonna attack Vecna. Well, Max is being the bait and all that stuff like that. So
Sure.
But I really don't know where she got this whole like military background from.
Yeah, you would imagine that would be more Hopper's role.
Yeah.
And you would also imagine that maybe you would send one of the younger people in to do the heavy lifting of it, because the man's like, he's 50.
Yeah.
Those knees are bad.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Well, he was also spent last season in a Russian prison. Like his body's probably like fucked up from that.
I took a surf lesson once for 2 hours, and now I have a good shoulder and a bad shoulder. I could only imagine what a Russian prison would do to me.
I will say I feel like Hopper and 11 kind of have the least amount of stuff. Like they have stuff, but I think especially that 4th episode, I think there was like a whole 30 minutes before we saw them.
Yeah, I think if you cut and piece together all the Hopper and 11 scenes, truly it feels like it's maybe 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of just like, I can't get through this wall. Well, let's go find this other place. Let's do this. Like there's not really any progression or anything crazy there. I mean, obviously we're doing this is full spoilers
Oh
for
yeah,
this.
we're doing full spoilers. Yeah.
Okay. They find 8, which is obviously big.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I think it's like shows us because we've seen Vecna basically like be pretty OP. And so I think the addition of 8 and spoiler also will. Oh, that reminds me of another thing. Kind of shows us like, oh, okay, we have a chance now. Like we're beefing up our crew. But and also we got a little bit of Linda Hamilton, which I wish we got more Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
Really doing as much as like you. If I put Linda Hamilton in a movie, I'm getting her to do more shit. Like,
And apparently Linda Hamilton is a huge fan of the show. And she never watches anything she's in. So she said in an interview, she's like, I'm really pissed. I was a fan of this show. I'm not going to watch this final season because I don't want to watch me in it. But
oh, interesting.
it's such a great get. Again, the whole 80s vibe. They've had
Yeah.
great people in the past from the 80s. And to get Linda Hamilton.
They got Winona, now they got Linda Hamilton. They had Sean Austin. Like that's cool. That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Rip R.I.P. Bob.
R.I.P. Bob. Yeah, that's
So the 11-8 Will thing. Okay, so I just sent you a long voice message about this when I finished that season. So Will gets powers.
Yeah.
At first I was like, oh, this is crazy. Just anybody get powers now? And then I thought about it. I was like, no, this makes sense because well, my understanding of the lore, and of course I'm not nearly as into it as anybody else, is that the powers originate from the what do you call it?
Upside down.
Upside down, and the mind flayer and all that shit that's down there. And that's originally how Henry somehow got his powers, and then they turned him into one and used him to give these other kids powers. And then the combination of him, whatever they took from him and gave to the kids, and then forcing them to do weird upside down shit, gave them full powers. And I mean, if you think about it, that's exactly what happened to Will.
Yeah.
Vecna put his weird stuff,
Yep.
stuff,
into it's gross. It's turning gross. It's turning gross.
Yeah, I mean, it was gross. They just should give us a little recap at the beginning of the season, and you're like, ugh. Very face hugger esque. And so Will is infected with Vecna, and that's why we see the whole show after he comes back. He gets his weird vibes. He's under a little mind control. I mean, that's parts of Vecna, right? Plus, every time he's got one of those connections, that's like more interference with the upside down. And so that's the exact same recipe that they use to give 11 power.
Yeah.
So really, you're like, oh shit, it makes perfect sense. And what I said to you was, I like how that like Vecna comes out, gives that whole speech about how like, oh, you're so weak, and that's why I picked you, and you're just a tiny little kid, and like I can push you around. Meanwhile, being so confident and egotistical to be so bold as to literally provide the kid the 2 ingredients that gave 11 powers and kind of trashed his ass before, but being like, you're so weak that I'm not even thinking about the fact that I might be giving you powers. Meanwhile, it's obviously clearly backfiring on him. And I think that the thing that Vecna overlooks, and the thing that obviously we see works for Will, is he has people that love him, and he loves people, and he has, things to fight for, which Vecna does. Like this, Vecna as a little kid, if I recall, he didn't have like horrible things happen to him. He's just straight up psycho.
He's just straight up psycho. So one of the things I'm learning, I mean, we've got a month of just like, let's jump down the rabbit hole, all these theories and stuff like that. But apparently in the play, which is the prequel, and we see elements of it in one of the episodes where Max sees a young Joyce.
Oh yeah, the weird memory thing.
Yeah. So
that's weird.
In the play, the rocks where Max has been hanging out is where Henry got his powers from.
Okay, because he clearly was like, I'm not coming in this cave. He's scared of the cave.
Yeah. So but
unclear how.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we've seen the play, which is kind of shitty because it's just like, okay, so there's this play that matters, but I'm assuming we're going to learn things.
Go see this play. Like, what a weird thing to do, to be like, there's crucial information in a play that most of you can't see.
That started in London too, so it wasn't even like Broadway, New York. We're starting in London.
Yeah. So he had something traumatic in the cave. That's why he's scared.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where his powers came from.
Yeah, so and then Dr. Brenner, Papa found him, and I guess he tries to go to the caves to like harness these things, and I guess the um telescope that Holly was using is in the play and like has
It's a big slot piece.
but again, I'm like, unless you're
That
why isn't this on Netflix? Like, why didn't they release it on Netflix?
Yeah, weird. That kid also did a good job. The kid that plays Holly.
Yeah.
She was also in. I don't know if you're an Evil Dead fan. Evil Dead Rise, which I highly recommend if you love a horror movie. I love the Evil Dead series, and that one was pretty good. She was younger in that, and did a great job in that too. So shout out whoever that actress is.
Yeah, so we've got Linda Hamilton, we got the new Holly, we've got dipshit Derek.
Oh yeah,
Like we've got
kid's pretty funny.
only a few new people
Yeah,
this
because I
season.
mean Hawkins is like locked down,
Yeah.
right? So it makes sense that we're not getting a ton of new characters, and also, frankly, like you got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
You can't be adding a ton of new people last season. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
calm down, Lost.
I wanna. So the thing about Will that I wanted to mention that I know maybe this is too far fetched. Okay, so I don't know if have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
I have not, no.
I have because I'm a fucking nerd.
Nerd.
I've played I've played Dungeons and Dragons. I've ran a few Dungeons and Dragons games. I'm not a very good DM, but I've put my best efforts into it. And I listen to a lot of Dungeons and Dragons content. Shout out Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM podcast. If you're interested in trying to if you want to listen to a really fun D&D live play podcast, I really recommend them. They're great. But in Dungeons and Dragons, the best roll that you can make is a 20, a critical hit, right? And at the end of the season, we see 11 plus 8 plus Will. So if we want to count Will as a 1 because he doesn't have a tattoo, but he got his powers from 1,
Yeah.
that's a 20. But I mean, also they all kind of got their powers from 1, so it's like, eh. But I mean, 11 plus 8 plus Will, critical hit, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the cliffhanger. I was pretty happy like what they did. I assumed somebody was going to die because then we've got
Somebody gonna die before.
someone's going to die. But I thought it was going to be like a cliffhanger death. And then I was also thinking that Will was going to I thought Vecna was when Vecna showed up there, I thought he was going to take over Will and Will was going to be just this evil baddie for the rest of the season. I was like that would have been fun, but still happy with how it
He
went.
needs to do that. Like he's got control over all this weird demo dogs and all the weird vines and shit. Like what is possessing Will gonna do to add to it's more psychological than anything else, which is to be fair, in that's his kind of MO is more psychological shit. Fucking third rate Freddy Krueger. I think speaking of who's gonna die before the end of the show, clearly one of the if we consider our main group the young kids and Robin and Steve, Charlie Heaton, whose name I can't remember, and
Jonathan.
Nancy.
Yep.
Jonathan, thank you, Nancy. Hopper, Winona. I like how some people get character names and some people get actor names, and it's just how
Winona is Winona.
Yeah, I mean, she's just been Winona for too long, you know? We're gonna lose somebody, minimum one.
Yeah.
I think possibly a couple. To me, I think that we're gonna lose Hopper. I think we are gonna clearly see Hopper continue to do what he has been trying to do and do whatever he can to protect 11.
Yeah.
And I mean, he did it before, and he got sucked into the Russian prison somehow or whatever. But I think that's a high chance. And I think either a Nancy, a Jonathan, or a Steve, not one of the younger main kids. I think that our original 4 crew are gonna survive.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I agree with you, and I think it has to be Jonathan or Steve only because fans are so who should Nancy be with, and you kind of need to like the easiest way is to eat.
I don't even really feel like Steve is interested in Nancy anymore to like that extent.
It seems like it is, and they kind of alluded to it a lot in the 4th season. He says the whole like, I have this dream of, having an RV full of kids and the wife beside me, and then near the end of the season, he's like, I picture you as that woman. So there's still this like back and forth, even though Jonathan and Nancy have been together for a long time, and now he's going to propose, he's got a ring. But I think the only real resolution is to kill off one of her suitors and then
solves that problem.
And then that's just it.
Our fans, is this really like an Edward and oh shit, what's the wolf?
Jacob.
Edward and yeah, is this a full
It's
Edward and
yeah,
I think people are like really
yeah.
this is like to be honest, like I could care less about that aspect of the show. There's just more interesting things about the show than which one does she like?
It shows our age and where we're at time. Where I'm like I like Steve and Jonathan and Nancy, but I was like I ain't got time for your dumb teenage love triangle.
Hey, there was definitely a time where I very much was maybe a are we Team Angel or Team Spike situation.
Yeah.
We've all gone through it, but now I'm old and I don't care.
Yeah. And
Tell
then
me,
you
like,
and you rewatch it and you go,
Mrs. Wheeler up to? Tell me about if Mrs. Wheeler's getting a divorce anytime soon. Call me.
okay, we need to talk about Mrs. Wheeler because
Fucking badass.
I I was really looking forward to this season having I was like Karen has no idea what her kids have been doing for the past 5 years.
Oblivious. Yeah.
And so I was like,
Zoned out on Zinfandel and Quaaludes.
yeah. So I was like, at some point she's gonna have to find out. Will they explain it to her? And then the fact that we had this one of the baddest asses fight sequences in the entire series with her just breaking that bottle and clearly an homage
A Demogorgon.
and clearly an homage to Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. Stay away from you, bitch. She doesn't say that, but I was like, oh, you're gonna say bitch. No, she doesn't say that. But that's clearly what's happening.
Vibes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it was great.
As well, there's another last time I was on for Poltergeist. They're here.
Yeah.
Like Will literally says they're here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do the intonation, but I was like, oh, kind of like he said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing is at any point prior to her being face to face with the Demogorgon, if they would have tried to explain it to their parents would have been like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Shut up!"
Yeah.
It's the same. Even sadly, with like all the weird military stuff and shutting down the city, people are just oblivious. And we watch these movies and we think like people aren't that stupid, right? But then like we've lived through a pandemic that and other things that have shown us no, people truly are that dumb.
Yeah.
And they'll believe whatever the radio tells them or what's on the internet or, Facebook comments.
Is it are you like me? Like I feel like it's crazy. You watch these movies and TV shows before COVID specifically, and you're like, God, these people are so stupid. Like, how do people not know what's going on? And then literally the pandemic, all this crazy shit's happened in the past 5 years, and you're like, oh, it's not as far fetched.
No, yeah, like if there was a full-fledged zombie outbreak and people like no faces, no arms, stumbling around biting people, and you were like, "Don't get bit because that's how the zombie outbreak spreads." Of like, I'm not a sheep like you. I'm gonna get bit if I want to get bit, and we're like, "Yeah, okay, thanks, Uncle.
Yeah.
Have fun." Like it truly is insane how bad it is. Yeah, really good stuff with Karen. Hope she pulls through. Mr. Wheeler, whatever, we don't need him. Rip, I guess. Who cares?
The kids aren't even caring. They're not going to see him. They're just going.
How old do you think the actress is that plays Karen Wheeler, by the way?
Oh, ooh. I'm gonna say, oh God, she looks really good. I'm gonna say like early 40s.
I looked it up, and if the internet is to be trusted, she's 54.
What?
Damn, call your boy. Good for her. She must do Pilates. And you know what? It's you gotta moisturize. It's important. I don't do it clearly, but that's apparently it is helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I should moisturize. Being out here in Alberta, like winter and everything like that, I should. But
dude, every time I visit Alberta, I end up buying a new chapstick, and then my wife yells at me because she's like, "You had 6 chapsticks at home. Why didn't you bring one? You know you're gonna need it." And I didn't remember, and then I have to buy a new one. It's brutal.
Yeah,
So dry.
yeah. I'm not gonna look like Karen Wheeler when I'm 54. That's for sure.
I mean, you're probably gonna drink as much wine.
That is true. That is. I also just love that she's drinking wine and getting like. I love that she's getting shit faced, and then she's gonna take a bath as she's listening to ABBA.
Yeah, huge 80s mom energy. I love that. What was the other thing I wanted to mention about Karen? Oh yeah, the other thing that I had said this to Charlotte, my beautiful wife Charlotte, who was watching some of this with me, is in the first episode, maybe episode 2, when we find out Holly's got this like imaginary Mr. What's It friend. I was like, oh well, the obvious thing here is that it's Vecna because we know he gets into people's minds and they see him and he talks to them. So like that's the obvious thing, but that's got to be a red herring because it's so apparent. Maybe this is something new, something different, and maybe something we don't know, and like a new kind of beneficial thing. And Mike even says that. Mike's like, we don't know who this is. It could be somebody that helps us, right? So I was like, oh, I'm onto something because like it's so obvious that it would be Vecna. And then when they do reveal it's Vecna, they reveal it like, oh shit,
Yeah.
you didn't see this coming. It's like everybody saw this. That was the obvious choice. I thought that was a bit weird.
That was probably one of the weakest points for me because it was clearly so obvious. Unless it's turning out that Henry that's been helping her is some like good version of Henry that we don't know about, which that doesn't seem to be the case. But yeah, and even just the reveal, because it was like it's obviously going to be that. That's clearly what's happening, and it was so slow and just the way, and they were even really taking her time writing Henry down. Like we had HEN, and we're still not fully revealing him.
At HE, if anybody watching was still like interesting, where are we going? Turn the show off. You don't deserve to watch the show. Go watch fucking Jersey Shore, which I love, by the way.
Or the new Canadian Shore that's coming out next year.
I have seen a little bit. This was filmed in Kelowna, and I've seen a little bit on Reddit being like, I went to high school with these people, and they're very bad people, and you should watch this show. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I don't hear good things about Kelowna. Living in the Lower Mainland myself, I hear it's like all the worst people from Alberta moved to Kelowna.
Yeah.
And then that coupled with the fact that those people then are like, who would be good for this show about trashy people? Oh boy, I bet you it's going to be absolutely wild.
It's going to be.
Can't wait to come on to talk about it.
Yeah. So, episode in January. I see what's happening. So okay, so we've released half the episodes. We've got 4 more to go. 3 are coming out Christmas. 3 are Christmas Day, and the finale, 1 episode on New Year's Eve, but it's over 2 hours long.
Okay, that's such a weird release model, but okay. It builds hype, I guess.
Yeah. It's I guess I think the Duffer Brothers kind of asked if they could do a weekly, but Netflix is like, we don't do weekly. So
have you been watching sorry, tangent about weekly releases? I got so used to drops that I forgot about weekly releases, but Vince Gilligan's new show Pluribus, which is excellent, by the way, extremely good, is weekly. And man, it's working for me because like me and my friend Zareen, who has been on your podcast, like we want to talk about it, and we have ideas, and we're like texting about it, and like, what do you think about this? And that is sort of something that you don't get when a show's like, here's everything all at once. Because I watch it all in one day because I'm a fucking loser who doesn't go outside, and Zareen's like, I'm busy, I haven't watched it yet, I have friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I can't talk about it. So I mean, there is something to the weekly drop.
I've been kind of liking some of my shows that are weekly, or the fact that a lot of the streaming sites my stories I like that, like the streaming sites will release the episode the next day after it was on cable. So I'm not really like some of these things are like Abbott Elementary, Bob's Burgers, comedies, St. Dennis Medical.
The medical one.
Yeah.
I've seen some clips. It looks good.
It's really fun. And that gets released on Crave the day after it airs on NBC and CTV. So like it's more the comedies that are kind of fun, but I'm also watching some of the reality shows like Survivor, Amazing Race, Master Chef, Traders, and it is fun. I forgot how much fun the, episode of Traders ends, and I'm like, fuck, what's going to happen next? And I'm stressing, and I have to wait a whole week, but then I'm chatting with friends like, did you see what happened? So yeah, I kind of like, I'm going back to the weekly model.
So I guess we got 5-ish hours of content.
Yeah.
And then a month to watch it. And to be fair, probably in about 3 weeks, people start getting time off school. I don't know what the young people are up to. And a lot of adults take time off over the holidays as well, especially if they have kids. So that gives people time to kind of catch up before the Christmas drop. Mm-hmm. And then that sort of vortex of weird time between Christmas and New Year's, like people are sitting around eating turkey sandwiches, eating candy and drinking liquor at inopportune times. And that's a good time to watch a lot of content as well.
Yeah.
So I think strategically it kind of makes sense.
And do you think what they did, where they ended, was a perfect way to end it? It's going to get people back. I mean, one cliffhanger we haven't talked about is you mentioned 8 earlier. Callie, the other
Yeah.
sister,
Yeah,
is
they didn't even
back.
pull her down or talk to her. They're
No.
just like, boom, there she is.
So we're bringing back the most hated character probably from the worst episode in the series by
Well,
far from fans.
a failed backdoor pilot.
Yes.
A backdoor pilot, of course, for your listeners, being like, a pilot being we made a test episode of a show that we're showing to the network or to audiences in control groups and stuff to see what the feedback is, and if it gets picked up, we'll go and actually make the show. Right. A backdoor pilot is when you already have a show you're making and you create a whole episode with the intention of creating a spin-off series, and that's clearly what that episode 100%. Oh, she goes to New York and she like finds these cool kids and they're like, we're like you, but we're like punk and we're not from Indiana. And it's like, the fuck was this? And you never see him again because it was a failed spin-off attempt and everybody hated it. And they're like, no, 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 no. Now, that being said, that was a bad episode, not just because they tried to do that, because it was just kind of a bad episode. It was poorly executed, right? Bringing her back, not necessarily a bad idea, makes a lot of sense. The military cares so much about 11. Why wouldn't they care about her? Like, it does make sense, but how they use her is really going to be the difference maker.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do good things with where you are now, or you could do bad things with where you are now. As far as did it end in a good spot? Yeah, I think like it's like, oh shit, we got 8. Oh shit, Will's got powers. Like Vecna came in and he kind of like stomped us.
Yeah.
But now maybe do we have the upper hand now? Hard to say, because obviously maybe I see the next episode and I'm like, oh, they should have left it here instead. You don't know what you don't know, but I'm not where I will say where they left it. I'm like, damn, Daddy needs some more episodes.
Yeah.
Like I do want to watch more, so it was effective.
Yeah.
In that.
So
I'm sorry, I said Daddy. That's your thing.
that's my thing. How dare you? Um,
I apologize.
so again, and I was so excited to chat with you because I messaged you and then you started messaging me and you got into it after hearing your podcast that you were like,
did get into it, yeah.
I'm gonna see. And so far everyone I've chatted to who's watched it, and some of them, yes, were big fans, were stoked about it, but everybody's really seeming to be into it.
I think really good pacing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like the content that they are giving me is paced really well. I'm not like watching one episode out of 8 episodes being like, what are we doing in this one? I don't really care. This is just like, we had a tight plan of what we're doing and it's moving along at the appropriate pace and you're into it, right? And I assume with where they've broken it up and the strategic drop of like 3 more, 1 more, I hope it keeps going that way, which is, to be fair, also a lot easier to do when you're like, nothing coming after this.
Yeah.
When you're doing a season 3 or season 4 and you're trying to like, we got to get people watching and Netflix wants us to get a number of viewers, it's more complicated than like, now we're just wrapping it up. They can control that pace a little better. And I think they are pacing it well, which is important to keep people focused.
They're doing such a good job with pacing because we're having, again, like we jump right into it. They've been hunting, they've been looking, but also you have these moments, like Will again has had so much great stuff, and having Will and Robin having those moments where they can just chat about, being queer, obviously not saying that's what's happening, but having these conversations when shit's happening, but then also having moments where Joyce and Will can have that, like, no, you need to trust me, you need to,
a little bit good relationship building. Yeah, the Joyce Will thing is like, yeah, for too many seasons she's been like, hey, your brother's gonna go out and fight demons, but I gotta keep you up in this little cocoon. It's like, wow, good fuck, Jonathan. She didn't give a shit about you at all. And I know she does, and that's not how people work, and emotions are weird. And this was good that they finally broke through to be like, yeah, it is risky to go out there, but it's not okay to let the people I love go out and take these risks while I stay in here. We gotta work together, and so that was good growth. And like you said, like, I mean, the stuff between Robin and Will was really good. Now, apologies to your listeners, but I am straight. My bad.
Get off the podcast.
As a gay man, when you came out, did you get the powers right away? Was there a training course?
I haven't gotten any powers yet. It's been really bullshit. It's bullshit.
Into the stick.
My favorite. I did want to actually like quickly touch on social media the shit that's coming out, the TikToks, reels. You and I are sending stuff.
TikToks are good. The TikToks are hot.
The my favorite, I think my favorite one has been when you've been training for years to harness your power, and your buddy who likes your boyfriend gets it in 2 minutes.
I sent that to you.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. You might have already seen it before, but
No, you sent it to
this
me.
is good.
I I was at my friend's Christmas party last night, and I ran into the kitchen to show her. I was like, "This is the best thing ever."
Yeah, and just like she's trying so hard to make Mike like her, and then Will is just gonna like levitate his ass, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up? I'm here too." Damn it, Will.
Yeah, I like being part of something that is a popular show. Like some of the stuff I watch is not as huge, so it's nice to be part of something that pop culture zeitgeist and getting all these great reels and TikToks. The one you sent me about the Demogorgons, like in the break room. What are we doing here?
That was like 6 minutes, and it just kept going. It was like, "What are you guys talking about? Nothing, nothing." Like, I'm a high. I can hear all your thoughts, right? Yeah, that one was really silly. People have too much time on their hands. The Will thing I like. Okay, so when he basically is coming to terms with who he is, and I think mostly it's like, well, why does he get these powers, right? And it's like, well, Vecna was right. He was afraid. He was weak because he was too afraid to do anything.
Yeah.
And the conversation from Robin, which is essentially like, love who you are, be okay with yourself. That's more important than what other people think, and don't be afraid of that. Obviously, is an important conversation to have. And now I know that I don't know if it was last season or the season before because I'm not good at that. The California season where he was very sad,
Yeah.
sad about Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know now, like he had all what he used to, go Super Saiyan was his like thoughts of Mike. But I don't, do you think it's still going to be like well, he still loves Mike and he's trying to get Mike? Or do you think this is more of a, hey, I love my friend Mike, and because of the way I feel for him, that allowed me to come to terms with like who I am, and I'm always going to love that about him and appreciate that, but like he's not my guy, and I know that, but since I love myself now, it's okay that he is not my guy.
Yeah, I
You know
think
what I mean?
I
Does that make sense?
100%. And I think what I hope kind of happens is, and again, like I mean, you develop crushes on people, and being young and also being in a quarantine town where they can't go anywhere else. There's very few
Yeah.
people. You develop feelings, and I think him realizing that he needs to love himself, and maybe like I love, and it's his unconditional love, because I hope that's what happens, because I think it's so important, and I love seeing beautiful relationships between a gay guy and a straight guy, especially teens. I think that's so important. Like it's I love you, you love me, and I think it's something that needs to be showcased more on television and movies is
Yeah.
this relationship.
Yeah. I agree. It's nice to have like, again, growing up in the 90s and watching a lot of 90s content, if there was a queer character, it was like either a horrible punchline or so tropey, and the whole thing was just about the fact that they're gay. Like, hey, sometimes characters can just be gay, and
Yeah.
that's not like the end all be all of the character, people are just like this.
Yeah.
So, and I think that, obviously placing this in the time period that it is, it's not quite, you can't quite do it the exact way. But as a straight man, for whatever my opinion counts for, my perspective, I think they've handled it well. I really do hope we get to see, frankly, I hope we get to see him coming out to his friends, and,
Yeah.
and his friends accepting him, just because I think that will be nice for the character. And he's been through a lot, and he needs a win.
Yeah. One of the best moments happens in season 4 when they're in the pizza place. They're getting the bathtub ready so Eleven can go help Max out, and Jonathan has this moment with Will where he's just like, I love you, I wish you could talk to me, and like it's him saying, know there's something going on, and clearly like
Yeah.
alluding to it all. And so I love that moment, but I hope we get more of that shit, because again, we've only got 4 episodes left to wrap this up, like
Yeah.
5-6 hours, I don't know.
Because it's like one thing for him to be like, I am now happy and satisfied with myself and who I am. but I'm still not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
are you happy with the year? But I don't know. I also wonder. It's like, are they going to be so bold as to not give us a happy ending?
I
I mean, maybe you never know, right?
yeah,
Like,
they've
fuck.
they've said there's gonna be spin-offs, but like not spin-offs. Like it's weird the way the Duffer Brothers are wording this is that like
Ooh,
the
spin-offs.
they're like this story, these characters, the Upside Down, Vecna, um, Hawkins,
Done.
this is done after these five seasons. That's it.
Sure.
But there's gonna be spin-offs and things, but it's not the Upside Down. So I think it's just gonna be like
Like a Stephen King averse where it's like, oh, a lot of winks and nods, and
yeah,
technically if you piece together the pieces, you could see it's a shared universe, but different characters, different whatever. But hey, maybe we brought back some of our favorite writers, some of our directors,
yeah.
and vibes are similar. It's a cash cow, so I'd be surprised if both Netflix and the Duffer Brothers didn't want to keep doing it. But
But this means that they have
you know
to
what?
they have to wrap up all these storylines, all dozen of these characters. We need to wrap them up in 6 hours.
Well, I mean, okay, let's. What kind of storylines do we need to wrap up? We got to deal with Vecna,
Yeah.
for sure. That's your number one storyline. We can't have this man haunting the fucking town forever. The government wants 11 real bad. Got to wrap that up somehow. Presumably, they deal with Vecna and then off to Tahiti and never heard from again. That's a happy ending for them.
Or 11 dies.
Yeah, or 11 dies. Yeah. Uh, I guess, like you said, people crave the Jonathan's Steve ending.
Yeah.
We need a little, the boys went off to college and lived happily ever after sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't really talk about Dustin. Dustin's depressed.
Dustin is depressed, and I like it, but I also don't like it. I don't like how long it's going on for because it's just like it's not the Dustin we know and love.
Yeah, which I get. He's been through a lot. I do like his Dustin used to be like afraid.
Yeah.
He was nervous. And now he's like, why would I give a fuck? Do you know what I've seen? And I like that, but to his friend's point, he's so like everything's so bad I don't need to care about whatever, that he's hurting himself unnecessarily. And that's sad. It's a bummer. And I see him, and I really like the relationship between him and Steve. I mean, to be fair, to be very real, I was shockingly not a popular child, and I was a weird little dork myself. And I did have some cool older friends. My dad used to teach whitewater kayaking. I used to do a lot of whitewater kayaking. And so when I was like a fucking weird ass little 13, 14-year-old, I had some cool 20-year-old kayaking friends who to me were like the fucking coolest guys in the world. And they were nice to me and they didn't bully me. And that was really important.
Yeah.
And I really liked that with Steve and Dustin. And now I can see that Steve is so frustrated because Dustin is hurting himself, but he doesn't know how to talk it out. So they're just fighting about it because he doesn't have the emotional tools to talk it out.
Because it's guys,
He's a 20-year-old guy in the 80s.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's guys in the 80s. They don't know how to chat about feelings.
No, yeah. So I hope that gets resolved. I don't know. We think Hopper and Winona getting together? What's up there?
I think
Just friends at this point. Been through too much.
they've done some kissing. I think they've got stuff. But I think it's important that she gets a happy ending. I think that's the one character like she's got. I mean, losing Bob, doing everything that's happened with Will. I think she deserves a happy ending. So that's where I think Hopper might not die.
The woman needs a vacation.
Yes, she does. She went to California, and what happened? Bad shit.
Oh, bad. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah. So I mean, but like, we're gonna see like, I was gonna say Liam. I think that's the actor's name. Liam and Max. I'm doing it again. Where half of them say actor's names, half of them get character's name. That happy ending for them. And like, hey, she's back. They're together. They go off. But how much more do we need to see wrapped up? Really?
Yeah.
Can't we just leave some of it to the imagination after we solve the big problem?
I think we should do that. I feel like there should be some like, all right, you and I think that's always good with shows when they can be like, we've explained to you what the Upside Down is. We've done this.
It's your problem now to kind of piece together.
Yeah. Because I alluded to the show earlier, Lost, one of the biggest complaints about Lost final season and the series finale was they chose to focus on the characters, and there was still so much of the mythology of the show that we have no idea. And they're like, oh, people only want to know what happened to these characters. We want to wrap this up. And we're like, fuck no, I want to know more about the island and shit.
What's the smoke monster?
Yeah.
Explain the smoke.
Yeah. So you kind of
The
need
Lost.
you need to find that balance, I guess, is kind of key.
Yeah, I think they're gonna land the plane. I think they're gonna do it based on how the vibes from this first 4 episodes. I like what I'm seeing. I'm excited for when you say it's coming out Christmas.
Christmas Day and New Year's Eve.
I'm gonna have to free up some time on Christmas. Yeah. Get some more of those powered out, and then I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Now here's the real question.
Yeah.
How many of these kids do you think are gonna continue having illustrious careers, and how many do you think are just gonna fucking never do anything again?
I think Sadie Sink is gonna be winning awards someday. She's
legit. She's already been in some like pretty good stuff.
She's in the new Spider-Man. It's unclear of who she's being. It's being kept under wrap, but she's in the new Spider-Man.
She got that red hair, but there's already a Mary Jane. That's confusing.
I know. So, but Sadie Sink's gonna crush it. Dustin is actually him and actually Lucas were both. They started off in like musical theater and Broadway, and I think they're gonna go back to that. I don't really see them being in like they're both great, phenomenal. I think Lucas doesn't get enough credit for what he's fantastic, but I think he's gonna go back to theater.
He does a lot of behind the scenes stuff, like right? Didn't he do a lot of charity work and like he did like some sort of friendly prank show? Or
yeah,
like maybe his vibe is more like I want to be in the entertainment business, but like not necessarily on camera.
Yeah. It'll just be interesting once the series is wrapped because so much of what Millie Bobby Brown especially has just been Netflix. I don't think she's done anything outside of Netflix.
I mean, she married Bon Jovi's kid.
Yeah.
So like, I think money's in the bank. I don't think she got to worry about it anymore. I mean, granted, she probably had a lot of money too, but certainly Bon Jovi's kid is fucking set. So maybe she's just done with it. That's the other thing about if you're acting from 8 to 22 and you come out normal-ish, huge win.
Yeah.
Maybe just call it a win and step away, because otherwise you're going to get LaBouffe or Lohan, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of need to step away sometimes and be like, I'm good. I'm going to move on to some other kind of career.
Yeah. I think that Jonathan and Nancy are going nowhere, because if they could have done anything else, they would have been doing it, and they weren't doing anything other than this.
Yeah, they haven't done anything else.
Joe Keery, really talented. His musical career, I'm not cool enough to like really be into it, but I've heard some of the songs. I'm like, he seems good.
Yeah.
And people seem to like him. But he's been in some other things, notably the most recent season of Fargo, which was excellent and I recommend, and he was quite good in that.
Yeah, and he was also in Free Guy, and he was in something else. But yeah, so I think he's gonna do all right. Winona's gonna keep being Winona.
Yeah.
And
Hopper keep being in the tabloids.
Yeah, he's got kind of issues, so who knows what's gonna happen there. But
he's a full ass Avenger now, so I'm not
that's right.
Got that MCU money coming in. Good for him. Good for him.
I really like the Red Guardian. He's a lot of fun.
He's funny. He's fun. Yeah. I like him too.
Okay, so you're gonna come back after the series is wrapped. I want you back on the pod to talk with me about this.
Gun to my head, I guess, if I have to.
But we've got a month until the final episodes come out. You mentioned a show earlier already, but like, what are you recommending to people? What should they be checking out while they've got some time to kill? Especially we get to winter, nobody wants to leave their homes. Let's watch shit.
Absolutely. Well, if you're not watching Pluribus, definitely get on that. I mean, from Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So if you like those shows at all, this show is it's different in the type of theme and content. It's not, as ground based, but it's just the guy knows how to make a show. It's such well-made TV, and he's just flexing on us. There's shots in this show where I was like, there was no reason you had to do this so complicated other than to go, hey, look how cool it's so and so like I've been really enjoying it, and it's good to talk about. It's really got me every episode. I'm like, oh, does this mean this and does this mean that? And like, I'm really trying not to talk about the content at all because frankly, I think you should not even watch the trailer. You should just go watch it. It's a great show. I'm a big, I'm a big Avatar fan. Huge fan of James Cameron. I know Avatar is, simple content, but the special effects are pushing the industry forward and they're best in class. And I just love that James Cameron has the balls to be like, there's a MacGuffin. We're calling it unobtainium. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hell yeah, Jimmy, let's do it. And so, of course, the new Avatar is coming out, I think, in a couple weeks. I think it's like the 3rd or the 8th or something, Fire and Ash. So I'm going to be in theaters watching that. Come join me. Other TV shows that I'm watching currently, I just wrapped up the 2nd season of Nobody Wants This. I think weaker than the 1st season.
100%.
Good. And I'm a slut for Adam Brody. Yeah, more Adam Brody content. Hell yeah. Let's go.
He's great. But yeah, I actually found myself taking more pauses. The 1st season I binged it. The 2nd season I took a couple breaks.
How do you feel about Joanne? I feel like she's not, I don't like her.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not empathetic.
Yeah.
You're kind of mean. And in the beginning, in the 1st season, you're like, oh, she's quirky. And he can handle the quirks. But in the 2nd season, I'm like, the quirks are mean now. You're just being mean to people.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah. It's not a character I'm rooting for. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, Adam Brody, I'm like, am I into Judaism? Yeah. That can't be right. Yeah. That doesn't make sense based on everything else I know.
But I'm going for it.
So that's good. Oh, I watched randomly a movie. This is how I find new movies. Is I saw a TikTok clip of a movie that I hadn't heard of, and then I watched the movie. It's called Code 3, and it was with Rainn Wilson, and he's an ambulance driver. It was pretty good, honestly. They were trying to do something a little different. It was a little different, not groundbreaking. But it was definitely a fun movie. I would say good movie. Liked it. That's mostly what I got on the run right now. I'm watching some older stuff that's not worth mentioning. Newer stuff, I think I covered. Oh, I have gone to the theater recently to watch both Predator Badlands, which I really loved, and the Running Man remake, which I liked, but I didn't love, but was still good. So honestly, at this point, if you haven't gone to the theater to see those, I would hang out for a few weeks. They're going to hit VOD. Give them a spin at home. They're worth the time, especially if you're like a Predator fan. Predator Badlands was a lot of fun.
I will say for people right now, I do this every year, but right now Cineplex has, you buy a $50 gift card, you get a bunch of vouchers for like good from January 1st to like March, end of March, and it's like buy one get one movie tickets, free popcorn, free soda, free upgrade, free movie ticket. Like, so I go to the movies lots. $50, I buy it and I use it on myself.
Not to shill for the corporations, but I joined the Cine Club thing.
Yeah.
And I at first I was hesitant because I was like, oh, if I don't go to a movie every month, that's how they get you. But they don't expire.
Yeah.
So actually, if you do miss a month, it's still on your account, and essentially, it's just a guaranteed discount. Now, if you don't go see 12 movies in a year, you're probably losing out. But as long as you're seeing that many movies, and again, they don't expire monthly, so it's okay if you skip 1 month and see 2 the next. It's a discounted rate. You're still paying out of pocket because it's like a regular movie ticket. And it's like, where are you even going to see a regular movie? Everything's fucking 60, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm very old. But for me, it's just been like a guaranteed discount. And there's an extra discount on like drinks and snacks.
Yeah, you get 20% off on concession.
I'm not going to not get popcorn. Yeah. Not a psycho.
It's great. I love the Cine Club. I definitely recommend it if people go to movies. It's $10 a month, or you can get like the year one, so it's slightly cheaper. But you can also, once you use your free movie ticket, you can go see movies for $9.99, which is still cheaper than if you like when you go into a regular one. But if you're going to the 3Ds, IMAX, and everything, it's still a discount on that.
It's still a discount. It's still cheaper than if you pay for the ticket up front. Yeah. And the only way that it's going to backfire is if like you only go to 2 movies the whole year, and you're gonna, then you're losing out. But if you're like us, that's not going to happen.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up because this has been a joy, but I also want to mention if people haven't listened to the Tuck and Rolls podcast, it's great. You gotta listen.
I wouldn't recommend it, frankly.
But you guys just finished your Mission Impossible.
Yeah, nailed it. Mission Impossible. We watched and reviewed all 8, 9 Mission Impossible movies. Brought on different guests for all of them, and recently, our one of our co-hosts and our social media manager, our friend Kayla, we had forced her to go see The Final Reckoning, and she hadn't seen any Mission Impossible movies prior to that, and she hates Tom Cruise, and so she had essentially the worst time. And this was revenge, because my co-host Tuck hates scary movies, so we made him go see Nosferatu in theaters, and his review was sort of like, "Hey, what the fuck? Why would you do this?" So that was fun. And then they made me watch Wicked, which my review was, "What the fuck? Why would you do this?" And so we had to do it to her. And so The Final Reckoning is what it was. And yeah, you can go and listen to that particular review from last summer, and she full ass hated that. It was a bad time. But then, since we committed to doing the review, which by the way was just because I thought of the name first, and I was like, this is a good idea. It was not. It's too many movies. But she committed to it because she's a team player. She watched all of them and then rewatched that last one. So if you don't want to hear us talk about all the Mission Impossible movies, I totally understand. But I would recommend our last episode where we bring Kayla back to discuss her Mission Impossible journey and the rewatch of The Final Reckoning and whether she enjoyed it more or less than her initial time. And yeah, that's the kind of shit we do. We don't always do what we would call a spoiler cast, where we review a movie and talk about it in depth. Sometimes we're just kind of bullshitting and talking about what have we watched, what are we not watching. I yell at Tuck because I don't think he's acts like a grown up and schedules himself well, and he yells at me because I take things too seriously.
He's also gonna be really pissed that it's taken us this long to mention him.
Yeah, I mean, I think to be fair, you mentioned him at the beginning, and also you did invite him to be on this, but he was like being a good dad and taking his kids to hockey or some shit. Also, he hadn't watched the new season.
Yeah.
So, joke's on him. But yeah, if you just like hearing, if you thought it was funny, great. Appreciate you. That's the most important thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear more, you can check us out. And I appreciate the shout out, Craig. And Craig's been on multiple times. So even just go find Craig's episodes and listen to those.
Well, I always enjoy coming on the podcast. I enjoy you coming on the podcast. It's a pleasure. We're actually gonna have you back before Stranger Things because we're gonna be
on Christmas morning.
we're gonna be having we're gonna be. I think we decided Gremlins. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Also come back for Gremlins with Tuck. Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are coming back for Gremlins.
Gremlins stand.
It's in the calendar for podcast. We haven't scheduled it yet, but it's in my calendar.
It's in a metaphorical calendar.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you, buddy, for being on here.
Anytime, literally anytime. You just let me know when and where.
Boom.
Except I'm not gonna leave my house. I'm doing it the weirdest.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Thank you, Ryan, for talking Stranger Things 5, Volume 1 with me. I look forward to having you back on the pod in the new year to discuss the rest of the season. Yeah, I'm holding out hope. I think it's going to continue to end well. We'll find out. Finales are tough to stick those landings sometimes, so we'll see what happens, but I'm going in positive, as I often do. So let me know your thoughts on Stranger Things 5. Are you excited for it? Did you enjoy this? Have you ever been into it? Give it a watch. Let me know on social media at PTW Craig, Passing Time with Craig. Great way to keep in touch and find out all the ways to pass time. Otherwise, we'll chat soon. Bye.